Let's get busy.
Athena, is that how you pronounce it?
Yes.
I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. Well, no, I'm going to try.
Nobody ever gets it on the first try, so.
Well, first of all, it looks like it looked like Psycho. That's the fun part.
Well, my nickname in high school was Prychodko because
Psycho. So, Prychodko?
nope.
No. Prychodko?
Nope. So it's Ukrainian, and it's actually pronounced Prychodka, but in American version is Prychodko.
Prychodko. Okay.
Yeah, because a lot of people can't do that.
So that's your name.
That's my name. Yeah.
Don't wear it out. So, yeah, you know, when I get my guests on the show, you and we've got 225 mutual friends, so somehow we've connected, and that's, you know, I do a lot of networking on Facebook. Some people may call it stalking. As if I'm a podcaster, it's research. It's research.
I understand that. Yeah.
So, but you have an amazing look. Not to mention all the shit you're involved with, have been involved with. So we're in burlesque is one.
Yeah.
Were you at this recent the Harlots Hellions thing?
Yes, I'm part of the Harlots and
You
Hellions.
are. So you were there at the what was it? It was just where over by store. What's the name of that place?
Oh, you're talking about when we did the.
Beth's thing, or was it?
I can't remember what that place was called now.
You know what I'm
actually.
talking about? It's
Yeah.
like right on.
It's right over by Sergio's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the name of that place?
I can't remember.
We'll figure it out, but-
Butcher Town Social.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you
yes,
perform?
I did not perform, but I was
Okay.
kittening that show.
Oh,
So if I'm
okay.
not performing, I
You're-
usually do like the
okay.
tip kitten thing,
Gotcha. All right.
and I try to raise money for the troupe no matter what.
So I may have put money in the. You may have made the impression to get money out of me.
I
But-
hope so.
Well, I'm curious. Give me a little background. Have you? Obviously, you haven't lived here all your life.
No, I've only been here in 7 years.
Really? So give me a little history prior to the 7 years. Where are you from? I mean, hometown or home country? A country, really.
Well, I am from here in America. Not here in Louisville, though.
Right.
I was born and raised in Buffalo, New York.
Okay.
And then when I was 18, I got kicked out of my house because I was a little bit of a rebellious and very independent teenager.
I would have never.
Never expected that, right? So they were like, yeah, get the fuck out. And I was like, all right, fine. Fuck you too.
This was
and I left.
in Buffalo.
Yeah, I left Buffalo, and then I decided to do a little bit of work because I knew I wanted to get into film, and like video and stuff. And so I went to the Cleveland Institute for Broadcasting for a little while and realized that broadcasting was definitely not like for me because it was very mundane and boring and like it wasn't at all what I thought it was going to be like.
Right.
And so I was very dissatisfied with that. But then I decided to go to the Tom Savini School in Pittsburgh and learn how to do film and special effects and makeup and, you know, build props and do all that kind of stuff because I always, you know, my mom used to joke because I would steal her makeup and do up all the kids in the neighborhood like zombies and stuff when I was a kid. And so she would give me $10 and let me go to the dollar store down the street and I would buy all the crap makeup and then I would just
turn the neighborhood into an apocalypse.
yeah, pretty much.
Like
Yeah,
that.
and the kids would like line up for me to do that stuff and so I was like, man, I might as well just go to school for this and make something of myself, I guess.
So these were
you know?
teen years, I'm assuming. Yeah.
No, like 8, 9,
oh, shit.
10.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you
That
had
was-
that creative mindset then. Wow.
Yeah, so one of my dad's best friends, his name was Bill. He's like an uncle to me,
Yeah.
but he was a comic book artist, and so he would do comic strips and comic books, and he really influenced me as a kid and got me into art and just being creative and using that creative part of my brain.
Right.
And he was a huge influence for me. So he ended up kind of pushing me in that direction. And when I told him, I said, I kind of want to do horror movies and stuff, and he was like, then do it.
Then do it.
Yeah. So he was a big impact on that.
So that takes you. How do you navigate to Louisville?
Well, there's a very long string of events that happened
Let me get
between me getting to Louisville.
Did it involve a male?
A little
Or
bit.
significant something?
Well, a little bit of it,
Okay.
but at the same time, I was leaving behind something that was detrimental to me. So I started over on purpose,
Right.
and it was a very good life choice for me. And
But why Louisville?
because I actually got, it's funny enough, I was at what was that, Six Flags, and up near was that Columbus, Ohio, or whatever. I think that's the amusement park that's up there.
Yeah.
It's like the big one.
Wait a minute, in Columbus, or you're talking about Cincinnati? Kings Island?
Kings Island.
Yeah, that's
Thank you.
Cincinnati,
That's
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I
Right outside
can't remember.
Cincinnati,
Yeah. And so I was up there and hanging out with some of my friends and stuff, and then this guy is just staring at me, and I'm like, okay, like creepy, whatever. And then he approaches me and hands me a business card and said that he ran a magazine down in Louisville and that I had a very interesting look and that he was interested in photographing me for his magazine. And of course I took his card and I didn't really think much of it, but then I did my research, because I always do my research before I go do photo
course,
shoots or
yeah.
anything, or film with anybody.
Right.
And he was legit. He had his own, publishing company and everything. And so I was like, all right, this is interesting. And so I did it remote for a while.
Right.
And then I started traveling more because he wanted to make me one of the main models that I was featured in pretty much every magazine kind of thing, like his spokesmodel kind
Okay.
of thing, and it was for rat rods, and I'm a car nerd. And so he was like, oh, and so I started doing writing for them as well. So it was
Okay,
modeling
cool.
and writing, because I have a couple of degrees in writing.
Because you have looks and brains.
I do, But yeah, and he quickly discovered that, and so I became the assistant editor very quickly. And I was able to talk gears with the guys in the cars, and also take pinup pictures on them at the same time. So he was like, "Man,
you became the most complete." Guys only dreamt about those girls, and they're like, well, "Shane, are you gonna keep photobombing this?" I'm kidding.
I'm doing my job.
We're good.
Hey, man, yeah, he's just working hard,
Yeah.
But so long story short, I quickly became like a huge impact on the magazine, and
Yeah.
I did a lot for them. And then unfortunately, print went out really fast because of the internet and all the stuff on social media. Print pretty much died out, and so the magazine only lasted a few years, unfortunately, and it got defunct. And I was already here in Louisville, and I'd made a lot of friends, and already made lots of networking connections and
sure.
stuff, and was already very busy. And so I was like, I'm just going to stay here, I guess. And even though I had job opportunities out in Vegas to do makeup for like Vegas showgirls and stuff, which would have been really cool. But at the time, I was like, I'm working for a magazine. That's awesome. Like, so.
And you're into a lot of things. I see you also bartend.
Yeah, I'm a craft cocktail bartender, award-winning craft cocktail bartender.
Oh, let's elaborate real quick. What makes you get that title?
Well, I do like cocktail challenges and stuff, and a lot of times, it's hard because there's a lot of very crafty, awesome people out there.
Yeah.
But it's how creative your cocktails are, how pretty they look, like appearance and all that stuff too. But I just like being able to mingle things together, hence like bartending and cocktailing.
Right,
It's
yeah.
like mingling flavors and mingling people, like one of my advocacies at the bar is put your fucking phone down, man. Fuck that phone.
I know,
You don't
yeah,
need
I
that.
know,
Like,
I mean-
but at the same time, people get so involved in that stuff, and but
Yeah, I mean, it is
Yeah.
what it is. I'll tell you one thing I've done recently. I've turned off, I'm telling on myself here, I've turned off my notifications to social media. So my phone doesn't, normally would just blow up, I always get
Right.
buzz. I turned it off. And that has allowed me to set designated times to look.
right.
And I'll tell people, if you need me, you can try texting. Fucking call me, and then
Nobody does that
No,
anymore,
it-
man. Nobody
it-
just picks up the fucking phone and is like,
the other-
hey.
I had an argument with my youngest. Dad, she finally called me. Dad, I'm trying to reach you. And I look at my phone, and there's text after text after text. And I'm like, Jacqueline, you should have gotten the hint probably about 2 hours ago that I had.
I am not paying
Yeah,
attention.
they insist on the tape, but yeah.
Yeah.
But you touched on the fact that trying to get into the media part, TV. You ever done podcasting?
I have not been on
'Cause
your end of
shit,
things.
This shit's a game changer.
I have
mean,
been-
anybody can. No, I say anybody could do it.
I don't think anybody can.
No, anybody, not
Yes.
anybody can, but anybody can try. Yeah.
Yes. And I've been on other podcasts and stuff, and so it's not that foreign to me.
Right.
But at the same time, excuse me, didn't mean to burp into the microphone.
Oh, you did? What are you drinking over there?
I
by
am
the way?
drinking the Deschutes Black Butte Porter, and it is fucking good. Yeah. A little gassy though.
Sorry. I'm sticking with water for now.
He's
But
being
yeah,
good.
just for
I don't
now.
understand
Yeah.
this. But yeah, it's what the fuck was I talking about?
Oh, I think last we were talking. We were talking social. Well, let's go back to social media.
Yeah.
With all the stuff you're involved with, you are very active with social media, especially your Instagram.
Well, my Instagram is ran by somebody other than
Oh,
me.
okay.
Actually.
Okay, fair enough. But what is put out there
Mm-hmm.
is very. I mean, I pay attention to it. I mean, I follow you, and it's some good stuff. I mean, it's
Thank you.
very creative stuff.
Thank you. I get to work with a lot of really awesome photographers,
Yeah.
and they hit me up, and a lot of times they don't really know what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And me being a very creative, avant-garde kind of person, I always have a million backup ideas
Mm-hmm.
for things. I'm like, I've just thought of this the other day. This would be fucking rad, man. Like, you saw some of those rain shoots that I did
Yeah.
with Larry Green. He's one of my favorite photographers to work with because he lets me be me and he lets me be creative, and he feeds off a lot of my creativity, which makes our pictures really amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's got this rain machine, and me being a special effects artist, I was like, let's make it rain blood.
Which is nice segue. That's what I'm like.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm like, for clarification, that's not red paint in your in those pictures.
No, that
pics.
is blood,
It
and
is
a lot
blood.
of times it is pig's blood too.
And it's legit blood.
Yeah.
So that was my next thing. Is legit blood.
Yeah, like that Egyptian photo shoot I
Yeah.
just did. That's a real human heart I'm
What?
holding.
Holy hell.
Yeah, I got to hold a real human heart. It was amazing.
Human.
Stunk like
Wait a minute,
shit.
a real human heart.
Yeah.
Tell me.
He got it from a forensics school.
Okay.
You can order them online, believe it or not.
Are you shitting me?
I'm not shitting you.
You can order a heart online.
Yes, sir. You
What
absolutely
what
can.
would be the ballpark? Wait a minute.
I have no idea. I would actually have to ask him because he paid for it.
Let's think of this. You can order a heart online. Mm-hmm. Could that heart have been used as a donor thing?
It depends. I mean, if it was diseased or had like a,
Okay, fair enough.
or if
fair
they
enough,
died and it sat in the dead body too
Yeah,
long, of course
yeah.
they can't
Right,
use it for
okay,
anything.
right.
So there's a lot of reasons forensically why
Well,
the heart
I
would
just-
just be a dead heart.
Yeah. Fair enough. I'm just, someone might say, wait a minute. To use a heart in art with art versus, maybe saving, but that's.
I mean, modeling is art.
It is-
like,
no, it is art,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. People are always like, "Oh, you do nude modeling." Like, "Oh, you're a whore, you're a slut." And I'm like, "No, it's art, and the body
is.
is beautiful. Every body is beautiful in its own way.
Yeah.
Like, we are all beautiful in different ways." Like,
Well, art
know.
is, in modeling, art is, as Shane's up here, music, food. It's all, what's the end result with the art? Either
right.
you're,
How does it draw emotion from somebody?
Yeah.
How does it make people feel when they look at it?
Mm-hmm.
And if it upsets you, then there's a deep-seated thing there you should probably go
Mm.
fucking look at, But at the same time, maybe it emotes some kind of emotion you didn't know you had, like, oh, like that made me feel really happy. I had no idea something like that would make me feel happy,
Mm-hmm.
And so hopefully it's like enlightening to some people, and I've lost a few friends because of the things I do, and I've gained a lot of other friends that appreciate the things that I do, because I'm not your very conventional girl. So
but the bottom line is that you're still being you.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's literally what
You're
I
not conforming.
Yeah, I just strive to be myself because I think, especially women and all the bullshit we're going through lately, it's really important to know ourselves and to be ourselves and to be able to be free in how we think and feel about our bodies and our personalities and the things that we bring to the table. You know, like there's nobody can tell you how to live your life. You've got to do it yourself.
Well, it's same with kind of that, feminist direction, and I say with all due respect, like this whole hashtag Me Too movement. You on board with that?
To a certain degree,
Yeah.
I think like a lot of things it gets abused because when things like this starts happening, it's really good to start with, and then for some reason it always ends up becoming something nasty or something dirty or turned into something not nearly as appreciated as how it started. And so I think it started for a good reason, and it's a very strong thing, and a lot of women need that kind of support, and we should be supporting them, and they should be coming out and saying, hey, you know, this horrible thing happened to me, and guess what, like, I might not be saying his name, but I just want people to know that I went through something traumatic, and it did change my life, you know, and like, so that's also why I think like modeling and for a lot of different women, or like acting or whatever, all of those things go in tune with something like that, because it's women in our position like myself that has like a voice and an image, and I can push those boundaries. I can make those things more prevalent, you know, and make it more of a statement because I'm recognized publicly, you know.
Define your image.
Define.
Yeah, you
I can't really define my
well,
image.
give me I don't know. I mean, if it was, because I'm looking at now. I've got your Instagram up. Why the metal?
Oh, because I'm a huge metalhead,
Yeah.
and I have been since I was like young. Yeah. I started with Black Sabbath and never looked back.
And never looked back.
Yeah. Oh. So nowadays, you know, there's so much good metal out there, and it's so diverse. And you know, I joke with a lot of my metalhead friends that, you know, metal is one of the most diverse music groups that we have, because you've got so many different types, you know, like country, there's pretty much like just a couple types of country, or, you know, classic rock or pop or whatever. There's not a huge diversity there. And I also think that, and I'm not trying to be biased here, but I am a little bit, that metal musicians have a harder job than most musicians, because that shit is technical as fuck. Like, they're up there and they got to remember all this shit. Like, I'm watching their fucking fingers and I'm like, you know, that's better than Clapton, you know? So, and everybody thought Clapton was amazing, you know, and Jimmy Page and shit, which they were. Yeah. But nowadays, some of these fucking metal guys, you know, like, it just amazes me watching them play, you know, especially.
Somebody like Metallica, did they go to
Metallica
commercial?
can fuck off. No.
I'm on board. Been on board with Metallica for a long time.
Well, I mean,
but I can get it. I get it where, you know, someone is probably way more passionate about metal than I am. But yeah.
I'm very deep seated in the metal roots, and Metallica was a segue band, and yes, their first couple albums were really awesome, man.
But once the Black Album,
album hit, you're like, you got through the first couple tracks, and you're like, no, fuck this, out the car window it goes. Like, literally, like, oh, $16 down the fucking drain. But you know. And there's, you know, always the running joke with metalheads and Metallica, like, that they're not metal.
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's look at some of the stuff you're involved with. What is the clown thing?
Oh, the Kalashnikov clowns. Yeah. So I'm part of a Russian clown troupe, and Russian clowning is completely different than American clowning.
Yeah.
We are 21 and over, because we are raunchy, and I am the raunchiest of the clowns, because I am Duke the Germantown clown, and I am based off of the great Hunter S. Thompson. And so I amplify his character. I basically took Bill Murray and Johnny Depp and the man himself, and then a little bit of my personality from the, you know, Fear and Loathing and Where the Buffalo Roam, and then all the books I've read about him and interviews I've seen with Hunter, and then added a little bit of my personality in there, and kind of came up with the world's first gonzo clown. which I'm actually getting copyrighted because,
Really?
yeah, because there's no other Gonzo clowns in existence. I'm the first one. And so we do these raunchy, amazing adult clown skits, basically. Like, so over in Russia, their way they clown is they do skits, like little stories, short stories, and they're funny, little entertaining stories. We just dirty them up a lot. I sniff a lot of panties, and I do a lot of coke on stage.
Sniff a lot of panties.
Oh yes, I was told when I
That
was
is
on,
officially the first
So-
type of soundbite that's ever made it
sniff
on
a
this.
lot of panties. So when I was on Great Day Live, they actually had me perform on Great Day Live, and I was straightly told I was not allowed to sniff panties or say the F word.
I was gonna say they're a little more stricter than I am.
And so, yes. And when you told me I could be open, I was like, fuck yeah. Awesome. But, so, I mean, we are very entertaining. We're a lot of fun, and we encourage people to get schmammered and come and hang out with us. And
So pop culture, theatrical, storytelling, physical comedy, music, improv, and the circus arts.
yep.
Circus. What? Give me an example. With circus arts.
Circus arts, so we do like some performance stuff, you know,
Okay.
like bed of nails, walking on glass,
Oh, gotcha.
walking on
Okay.
Legos,
Yeah.
like the hammer and the nose, like,
Yeah.
so we do some of that sideshow, like, yeah.
And then
So-
you use the blood from that to put in your pictures, right?
Believe it or not, we don't shed much blood.
Okay. Well,
That's like the less bloody job I have.
okay. You say so.
Yeah.
You're also into film. Give me how long you been doing the film industry? Film.
I started in the film industry in 2000,
Oh shit.
so about 19 years now. And I started as just doing special effects, makeup, building props, building sets, you know, that kind of thing. And then one day, somebody didn't show up for their role, and it was like a small part. And I had done like some drama and shit in school and whatnot, like chorus and drama and stuff, because that's what you do when you're a kid, right?
Right.
At least that's what you're fucking told to do. And then, but I decided I actually kind of liked performing. So they kind of threw me into a movie, and they liked me. And then, excuse me, I have literally,
She is badass here. don't mind me.
I was literally just kind of thrown into the acting thing. And then I literally, even though I've had 20 plus acting roles, which I'm doing some now. I've got some movies coming up, and I'm on a YouTube series with Jimmy Humphrey called
Oh,
This
yeah?
Is the Thing You Can
Okay.
Get, where I play a badass Charlie's Angel, like kidnapper and shit, and yeah. But I digress. But so I basically kind of got thrown into it, and I've literally never tried out for a part. I've been handed every single part I've gotten, But on top of that, like, I would like more to talk about the fact that I produce and direct and write my own movies.
Well, jump into that.
So that's been a huge thing for me in the last like 6 years or so.
Okay. So that's been your focus with that. in the
Yeah,
last- okay.
like I keep getting movie parts. Like I said, I've got some things coming up where I'm acting in, and I still get like special effects work here and there, especially around zombie attack time and like Halloween and all that. You know, I get booked solid for like doing makeup and stuff. But I've got a ton of stuff in the works right now for like doing some films, comedy, a couple horror movies and stuff like that.
You know,
so.
I wasn't, probably year and a half ago, whenever I heard the word film industry, I thought, Hollywood, that's how I interpret that. And then I started noticing that I've got some friends who do
Indie films.
indie films. And then I
That
found
shit's
out about
way more fascinating, by the way.
It is.
Because we
And-
don't get censored.
Yeah,
We get to make
right,
the fuck
right.
we want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the talent here in town is, I'm looking at we're mutual friends with
Oh, Louisville
several
is
of them.
saturated
Yes.
with talent.
So I have been like a fanboy of the film industry scene. So it's like anybody who is involved, it's got some good projects or good conversations they've been on, and we've had a real good time really learning and understanding how much is going on here.
Yeah.
And
Louisville's a really creative city. I think that's one reason why I ended up kind of staying here longer than I expected to as well.
just to throw a shout out to a buddy of mine, Antonio Pantoja.
Yeah, yeah.
He just had his movie out. And
I know I worked with him with some trauma stuff.
did you?
Yeah.
Okay. It's genuinely sweet guy. Good kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, so happy for him because the movie is just blowing up with all these awards and stuff. Too.
I've seen that. Yeah, I'm super happy for him too, man.
And his premiere is later this month. So.
Oh, cool.
Here in Louisville.
Oh,
So,
cool. Awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Staying with film. Do you got projects?
Yeah, I'm doing a movie with Chuck Terrell and Bob East. People know him better as he's actually does like animated stuff normally, but he's breaking into doing. I did a movie with them before, and it's called Pitfire from Hell, and it's.
I'd expect nothing less.
Yeah. Right. And I get murdered, but
not too early.
No, not too
Okay,
early.
yeah.
Not before the pillow fight with all the girls and everything. Of
Yeah,
course,
okay,
like the whole cliche, like. But it's like a spoofy movie on horror movies, and way better than like those,
scary movie.
Yeah, way better than that because it's indie, So
right.
again, we could do the fuck we want. We actually broke the bed when we were doing our pillow fight. All the girls. There were so many girls on the bed that it collapsed, and then they had to figure out how to finish filming and like put the bed back together so that we could finish it.
That would have to me. That should have just stayed in the movie.
I know. I thought it was fucking hilarious, but the director was like, no.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be working with him again, and that's Bob East, and I'm gonna be actually doing like a more of a serious role where I play like a no shits given cop, which is way the other direction than the most the roles I get. I'm like, okay. But anyway, and then I'm also doing a comedy with them called Holy Shit Man, where I'm like the final girl. So I get to kick the monster's ass, and I'm like the chick who survives at the end and stuff. So that's going to be super fun. Yeah.
You are a survivor, aren't you?
You could say that, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Burlesque. When did you gravitate to that?
Actually, just a few years ago, and it was because I had so many of my friends that were into it, and they were like, they're like, man, like, you've already got talent, like, and they've seen me perform and do other things, and they were like, you should just naturally get into this, and they're like, plus you look good with your clothes off, and I was like, okay. So I was like, okay, well, I guess
no arguments there.
Guess I'll give this a go then, And then, it kind of became a thing. And Scarecrow was my tag forever in school. Like, you don't know this, but I used to tag the fuck out of everything, and Scarecrow was my moniker.
Are you serious?
Yeah, oh yeah. I was,
Really?
like I told you, I was a little rebellious motherfucker when I was younger. Like, I didn't grow too much out of that, but I'm adult now, Still gotta do the adult things and not get in jail all the time.
You have to pick your spots. Now.
That's right. I only want to spend so much time in jail every year. Like,
You allocate this much time at this time of the year.
Right. So it kind of like the movie thing, it just kind of naturally fell into place, and I started as a tip kitten and stuff like that, and then that's when they were like, man, you should really just get up there and do your thing, and it just kind of became.
Which burlesque groups are you working with?
Just harlots and hellions.
Yes, okay.
A lot of burlesque girls, that's the thing, it's like we're very tight knit with our groups, and so
I respect that. Yeah.
And and I love all the women that I work with and that I play with. It's a lot of fun. They're great, and I know you had them on not too long ago, right before our show, actually at the Butchertown Social.
Right, yeah.
So I saw that podcast. That was cool.
Which was they kind of was supposed to come on. Well, actually, they were coming on obviously to promote the event, but I always like to have people come on and just shoot the shit too.
Right.
That what I thought was going to be probably a 30-minute conversation was about an hour and a half, which was fun. We was just talking about everything.
Right. Yeah, because they're very interesting ladies. Yeah.
They were. Yeah. You got a lot of ink. I gotta get some stories here. What's going on? Give me. Is there a rhyme and reason for all this?
There is.
Okay.
Ink is a very personal thing for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Some people just pull it off the fucking wall, and
Yeah,
that's some
no,
bullshit,
yeah.
whatever. But, okay. But all mine do have meaning, and I get them for certain reasons. And, like, this whole arm is pretty much, like, I got a couple tattoo ones because I let my friends practice on me.
Gotcha.
And so I've got a couple of those I got to get covered up in the long run. But this whole arm's, like, pretty much to dead musicians, like people we've lost, like Peter Steele and Dimebag Darrell and This is Killjoy from Necrophagia, who was a really good friend of mine, and I did some of his music videos and stuff too, and we were super close, and he just died last year. So like these are like all Elvis and shit like this, so it's like my memorial arm kind of thing.
Right.
And then this one's like world demise and chaos, things blowing up and bombs going off and shit, you know.
New world order kind of stuff.
Yeah, and this is my favorite actually. It's my Mosh Mash tattoo, which is one of my favorites actually.
What's that one on your shoulder?
Oh, that's my tribute to Lemmy. After
Yeah,
Lemmy
yeah,
Kilmister
yeah.
died,
Oh, you got that after he died?
like literally 3 days after he died.
really?
It was
Okay.
my, so like I said, it's kind of my tribute arm. So
Okay,
it's,
that's still okay.
yeah, so I don't get them until they die, you know, kind of thing. Otherwise, I think it's bad luck.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Like,
yeah.
especially on my tribute arm, I'm like, I'm not wishing any ill on you, Ozzy, but
You
like,
got a space for him, right?
I got a space for
Right, you
him.
got
Like,
it, right.
I actually got a DO piece planned out too, but you know, money and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, so I've been working on getting my back piece finished, and that's very, very expensive. So
There's a lot of stories there.
I have a lot of stories. Yeah.
What I want to do now, tell me something that you want to talk about that we haven't talked about. Project, anything.
That's a good
What is it? What's the Mammoth?
Oh, the Mammoth. It's an art collective, actually, and I just got involved with that last year. It used to be people who ran the Lava House before the Lava House burned down.
Oh yeah, okay.
And so they're basically have reestablished themselves, and so now it's like a big art collective, and it's just artists from all over the city that go, and you have some workspace if you want it, or a place to perform. There's a beautiful garden and stuff with a stage, and so we do like a lot of performance art stuff there, a lot of fire spinning and poi and any kind of performance art kind of thing, you know. It's an absolutely gorgeous space to come into work, and of course, it being that we are more of a broke establishment, you know, we don't really pay a whole lot, but that's also the thing, we don't charge to get in either. It's like we just kind of put on shows and we do things so that people have something constructive to do instead of sitting at home bored going, oh, there's nothing to do. But
Right.
Louisville has plenty of shit to do.
There
like,
is
all
I
the
mean,
time.
Yeah.
So
Is performance art and flow kind of the same, or is it really different?
well, it depends. Like
Okay.
some flow artists consider it performance and some consider it like art.
Yeah.
So
I've always thought it was one and the same, but then when I've talked to some people, they kind of separate it. But
oh yeah, absolutely. You know,
yeah.
I think that's like an emotional bond you have with your art, though.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like and how you view it.
fair. God, I think we covered all the
I
food.
don't-
What's the Krampus celebration parade? What's
oh
that
yeah.
too?
So I helped found the Krampus celebration here in Louisville. It was, the first one was just 2 years ago, and
What is that?
so if do you know anything about Krampus?
No.
So Krampus is like basically the anti-Santa Claus. And so he actually, will, if
Oh,
you've been a
top dog.
bad kid, he will come to your house and take you and put you in his sack and then beat you to death and then eat you.
So that's what happened to me back in the day. Now I know.
Oh, you're a Krampus kid.
Krampus
Pretty sure I
only.
was too. But, and actually I had heard the stories when I was younger, you know, growing up in a German household. Krampus was more of a Germanic story. And so he was the anti-Santa. He was the one you should be afraid of. So that was their way of saying, be fucking good or Krampus will eat you, you know, instead of Santa bringing you no gifts, like, no, you're going to get eaten. Like, there's no fucking cookies
I really
and milk.
wasn't familiar with
Like,
that. Krampus,
yeah.
yeah.
And so, you know, but Krampus is like,
I just stopped at the naughty what is that? You not be nice. What's it?
the naughty and nice list.
Yeah. So I never knew there
Well,
was really
Krampus
someone
is-
as kind of monitoring or would take the naughty list and then run with it. So I guess that's
That's
what
pretty
he is.
much what Krampus does.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Oh.
gets all Santa's leftovers and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, he's like part goat, part demon, part beast,
I've
part
seen this
human.
thing. Wow.
Like, yeah, I mean, he's been depicted a million type of ways, but he's just, you know, he's a scary way of saying Merry Christmas.
I think he'd be a better podcast guest than the old man with the white hair and beard. I think
Oh, absolutely. He'd be way more interesting.
it'd be cool to hang out with him over the, on
Hopefully
a
you
weekend.
can speak German though.
Well, I had an interpreter or
Right,
somebody
a
with
translator.
Yeah. Do you speak German?
Just tiny bit from what I remember growing up in the house.
Really?
And
Okay.
yeah, but don't ask me to fucking do it right now.
I
I've been partying at the pool all day.
Adding some color.
No. Lots of sunblock and umbrellas.
Yeah.
But just hanging out with my friends and shit.
Look at the. Do you ever been here? Because people are probably wondering where I'm at. I'm at the levee recording. I typically record it, with Baxter's.
Yeah, because I thought that's where we were going to be at originally.
That's my Tuesday night recording.
This is actually way prettier though.
It is very pretty out there.
Because Baxter's
See, it's like, with here, I feel like I should be holding your hand, looking out there.
gazing off into the sunset.
It's this is a very romantic podcast.
Oh, look at that sexy speedboat. Actually, it is quite beautiful.
It is pretty. The sun hitting the water. It's like, when I look at it, I was like, okay. All right. This is as I start winding down. I do this rapid fire segment called Round of Shots.
Oh, I'm
Some kind
so
of
down.
Quick Q&A. It's not too brutal. So
Okay.
and this is you're gonna probably give me a name that I've probably never heard. First concert you attended.
Oh, actually, no, you'll totally get this.
Okay.
I was 13 years old, and it was Guns N' Roses, Metallica. Yep. The Use Your Illusion tour.
So that was, I guess, Guns N' Roses was the headliner.
Guns N' Roses was headlining, and Deftones was the Around the Fur album. Or I'm sorry, no, that was the Around the Fur album. So Deftones opened, and then Metallica, that was their Black Album tour. So Deftones, Metallica, and then Guns N' Roses headlined for the Use Your Illusion, and that was my very first concert.
Do you, who do you, Guns N' Roses or Metallica?
Guns N' Roses.
Okay, just fair.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I mean, like I said, I really appreciate the first couple Metallica albums a lot.
Yeah.
But GNR has always been one of those because I'm really into hair metal. Like, I love my hair metal.
Yeah.
Because I'm fucking old. So, but I love my hair metal. And Skid Row and Motley Crue and all that's totally my jam.
Did you
But-
did you see the Motley Crue
Oh, Dirt.
Dirt.
It was really good.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
like how
I
they
was
did
pleasantly
like the.
surprised.
I
Yeah.
really liked how they did like the backstories for them, and I kind of wish they would have just stayed teenagers.
That's
But,
that is rock and roll.
It is rock and roll.
Yeah, man. Superpower, if you could have one, what would it be?
Oh, that's a good one. Well,
You already look like you're a superhero.
no,
Of
I
some-
don't.
No, you're a villain. You're
No,
a
I
villain.
don't.
You're a fucking villain.
I would be a fucking villain
Yeah,
though.
no.
Like my superpowers would be used for mutiny.
Yeah, it would be to offset the hero.
I would. Yeah. Oh, totally. Absolutely. Absolutely. I would have to go with, since I'm a fire sign, I would probably want the power of fire.
Fire,
Yeah,
okay.
like yeah, some fire starter
Okay,
shit.
okay.
Some Drew Barrymore.
Sure,
like,
that's right.
Yeah.
Drew Barrymore back
Yeah.
in the day.
Stephen King and
Wow,
stuff. Yeah.
If you were stuck in an elevator with a celebrity, who would it be?
That's actually happened to me.
Really? All right. Well, then give me a real life scenario then.
Yeah, so Sean Whalen, who played Roach in People Under the Stairs, which is actually one of my favorite all-time fucking horror movies. Him and I were going up to my hotel room to smoke a fatty, and the elevator got stuck. And I was in there with a whole bunch of other people too, and literally there had been a wedding in the hotel that night, and so they had this cart that had like all these pie and cake and all these like sweets and shit on, and we had like a case of beer we were taking up there, and like I said, there was like a bunch of us, but it was me and Sean, and he literally was like, hey, let's go smoke, and I was like, yeah, cool, let's go. And so what happens though is it gets like, we're on like the 10th floor, and it stops at like the 8th floor to let the bell guy out with this cart of pies and things, right? Well, doors kind of open, bellboy just starts backing out, but we're halfway up, and so he falls out of the elevator. Door slammed shut. We have all the pie and the cake and the beer and the weed. And so we're like, okay.
How long were you stuck in?
3 hours.
No shit.
Yes. And then the firefighters came and rescued us. like pulled us out of the after 3 hours of us partying in the
How
elevator.
much damage did you do in the elevator?
Well, I don't really eat sweets, so I was just more consuming a lot of the beer.
Yeah.
Me and Sean Whalen, Roach, we decided we were going to start shotgunning them, and I always carry a pocket knife on me, and so I'm just stabbing beers and shotgunning them in the fucking elevator, and I actually got a picture of us, like,
Doing it?
doing that shit, yeah.
You have to send that to me.
I will. I'll
add
totally send that to you.
To go with that answer.
So, yeah, that actually happened to me.
Well, that's cool. I like that. That's very
Yeah.
cool. Pet peeve.
Pet peeve, people who fucking litter. Don't throw your shit out in nature. Mother Nature does not appreciate it, and I do not appreciate having to pick up after your ass either.
Yeah, same.
It's disgusting.
Totally disrespectful.
Don't fucking litter.
Totally disrespectful. Let's see. Getting deep here.
Okay.
There's 3 questions that I want answered before I die.
Okay.
1, is there a God?
No.
2, are we alone in the universe?
No.
3, what happens after we die?
I don't give a fuck.
I'm
going to be fucking dead.
You're going to be dead, and it's all about now.
It's all about now
that's
and
like-
living
that's
your
right.
life the way you want
That's
to and
exactly.
embracing every fucking moment.
But there is a part of me that just, is it, when you die, does it just, the switch flip and it's gone? I mean, I don't know, the more, I guess the older I get, I find myself really fascinated by the fact that you could be driving, and then all of a sudden you get T-boned. And it's
that's
done.
it. Yep, that's it.
The car, maybe, I don't know, in your head, do you keep driving? Does it, you never really per se
Are you on
realize
that eternal highway?
I don't know. Yeah, so,
maybe?
yeah, I don't know.
But at the same time, I'm kind of excited to find out. So why should I try to answer these questions now when the excitement is there to figure it out later or find out later? I think that's also part of life, is not knowing what's going to happen next. Keeping it raw, keeping it real, like that's what makes life super fucking interesting.
I agree. Totally. Yeah, I'm all about the now, for sure.
No, absolutely.
So yeah, those are 3, my 3. Last one for you. If you had access to a time machine, you can go anywhere in the past to observe, not to change. You're not going to go back to, God forbid, the Holocaust and save everybody. You're just going to observe. Where would
Okay.
you go?
I would go to the early 1920s and I would observe Ernest Hemingway.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I find him very fascinating. I find the 20s very fascinating. And
Could you have coexisted in the 20s?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure in a previous life I was a flapper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty convinced of that.
Okay.
Yeah, because besides metal, I love swing and jazz and like stuff like that, and I just kind of feel it in my bones.
I feel you.
Like, you know what I mean? And I don't know. I would love to observe somebody like Ernest Hemingway though. And because he was such a sad individual, but wrote so many amazing stories. Because I'm huge into literature and I love reading, and some of his stuff has been some of the most fascinating stuff I've read.
You really are looks and brains, aren't you?
I guess
You got
so.
the look covered,
I
for sure. And now I'm learning more. I'm like,
I guess so.
smart too? Oh, wow. I say with respect. Due respect.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you. You made me blush a little bit.
Oh, okay. All right. People who want to connect with you on social media, where can they find you?
Well, my Facebook, Athena Prychodko, or and then Instagram, Athena Metal. Yeah.
That's it. And you got the YouTube, right?
Well,
that
that's somebody else's.
somebody else's?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm on another person's YouTube series that they're doing.
I think.
But that's Jimmy Humphrey, and it's called a thing that these are things that you can get.
Yeah.
And it's like a spoofy, fun
Gotcha.
kind of thing.
You have the fucking personality to do something like this. You should do it. I think it'd be cool because with all the shit you're in, clearly you've got a network of people that you can have on, and I mean, yeah, I think you'd entertain some people.
Yeah, let's just add that to all the shit I
I'm
already
gonna say one more. I think.
Let me just add
Yeah.
one more thing to my repertoire here.
Yeah, or what you finish,
Yeah.
and then replace it.
Oh, dude, I know. Let me just, I guess, go through and I mean, thank you. I appreciate it. But at the same time, like, I literally have no time to even sleep. So, like, yeah.
Just saying. Just saying.
Yeah.
Louisville's blood queen, Athena. Thanks for hanging out.
Well, thank you,
Good
man.
stuff.